Barbantio! Okay, yeah, it's true. We stood outside Barbantio's window throwing rocks, but I mean, you should have seen Iago. He was going nuts. He hates that Cassio guy. I mean, he has good reason to, but seriously, you should have seen him. I wish you could have. Oh, wait. You can. Just have a look inside here. You'll find it somewhere.
Dear honest Iago, LOL, you suck. Cassio's the best and he's gonna be my lieutenant. From Othello. What idiot chooses to give the lieutenant position to Cassio, who knows absolutely nothing about fighting and can't even control his wife, much less command men in battle? He knows nothing about the military other than what he's read in books, while I, on the other hand, have real fighting skills, and the general's seen them firsthand in battle at Rhodes and Cyprus, but clearly that doesn't matter to him because he chose Cassio for the position. I'll cut that out.
Okay, so as you can see, Iago doesn't like Cassio or Othello very much. So I was just trying to help a friend out by letting Barbantio know where the whereabouts of his daughter are. Besides, Othello doesn't deserve Desdemona anyways. She needs someone better. Like me. And that's where Iago comes in. I'm hoping since I helped him get revenge on Othello, that he'll help me win Desdemona. So, I mean, I don't see why he wouldn't. Iago's a good friend. I mean, I helped him, so why wouldn't he help me? So, Iago warned me about Cassio, saying that Desdemona will fall in love with him. He claims that Desdemona will get bored with Othello after a while and move on to Cassio because of his good looks and his young age. But I know Desdemona. She isn't that kind of woman. She's smart. She has morals. But then again, she did fall in love with Othello, which definitely shows a lack of morality. But why can't she fall in love with me instead? I'm just as good looking as Cassio. Am I not young enough for her or handsome enough? What's wrong with me? Well, I guess if I have to take action, I better do it soon, since Cassio's already started to make a move on her because he was like holding her hand and stuff all day. But I mean, that could be seen as like a sign of friendship or politeness. But Iago told me that it was out of the interest of love. I mean, I don't see why he would lie to me. He is my friend, and he's only trying to help. So, I guess that means I must do as Iago has told me and somehow get Cassio angry. I just don't know how yet. It was a bit of a crazy night. It all started a few hours ago after Othello and Desdemona arrived here in Cyprus. Iago informed me that now I not only have Othello standing in my way, I have to take out Cassio too? I guess Desdemona is not as morally sound as I originally thought. But my opinion of her somehow remains the same. He told me that they have to be in love because he saw them holding hands or something, so I guess things are pretty intense between them. We had a plan to get him drunk and stir up some drama, bad enough that it would get Cassio fired so that he would be out of the picture for both of us. However, things did not play out as we planned. So Cassio got a few drinks in him. I played my role perfectly by trying to get him angry and whatnot. But before I knew it, he swung at me with perfect aim, even though he was like incredibly drunk. I left and cried that there was a riot, and thank God I got out of there when I did, since the next one to tango with him ended up getting stabbed. Othello came down and seemed pretty peeved that we had gotten to stabbing each other. But after all this mess, I was pretty tired. I told Iago that the only thing I had gained from this whole situation was just a little experience. And honestly, chasing Desdemona just isn't worth my time anymore. I was ready to get home to Venice with my tail between my legs, but I can always count on old Iago to bring me up when I'm down. He encouraged me to just be patient with the whole situation, and that me getting up was really a small price to pay for getting Cassio fired. He really put a positive spin on the whole thing. So, I guess he's right. I mean, always count on friends to help you out when things are getting rough, right? For a while, I was really starting to question if Iago had my best interests at heart. He was always like, "Hey man, I've got your back. Desdemona will be yours if you could only get some more money, if you could only kill Michael Cassio," for the longest time. My family's pretty wealthy and all, so I gave him the finest jewels I could gather. Rubies, diamonds, the whole deal. He was so excited about it, and promised he would get them right to Desdemona. So I waited, and waited, and waited, but no word ever came from her. I'm just saying, those jewels would have even made a nun come running to me. Despite Iago convincing me at every turn that I was going to win Desdemona, that's never really what he seemed concerned with. After all, now I'm broke, I got beat up, and she's still hanging with Cassio, or Othello, or whatever is going on between them. So I confronted him and was totally ready to make him pay for what he'd done and leave him in the dust. He didn't really seem too sorry, even after I pointed all this out, but then was like, "I'm really hearing you, and you're a pretty bold guy. I think very highly of you now," which was kind of weird, considering I just told him how much I hate him. He assured me that he had done everything in his power to help me, which sounded pretty fishy until he started describing his new plan. He said that because Othello had put Cassio in charge here in Cyprus, soon enough he would head back to Venice with Desdemona in tow. That means the ends of my chances with her, so at that point I was willing to do anything. Iago assured me that if Cassio were to die, Othello and Desdemona would be forced to stay here in Cyprus. He promised me that tonight at dinner we would take him out together, and I was so shocked and elated that he would do that for me that I completely took back everything I said before. I'm so lucky to have a friend like Iago. I can't believe I doubted him even for a second.
Just stand behind this wall. I'll be here in a second. Keep your sword ready. I'll be right here.
Okay, but you can't leave me. I might mess this up. I'm really nervous. I mean, I guess it's only killing one guy, if you really think about it. I'm beginning to think that I possibly misjudged the situation just a tad. I was all psyched and ready to kill Cassio, and I readily plunged my sword at him. Turns out he was wearing armor, which I didn't really know was an option at the time. He stabbed me right back, clearly, and I was really expecting for Iago to come over and help me out since, I was bleeding pretty heavily and all that. But he just walked right over, stabbed Cassio, and up and left me there. Othello came down and was super impressed with Iago for going so far for him, which seemed kind of unfair since I was the one bleeding on the ground. Once Iago came back, he started asking Cassio questions about who attacked him, as if he didn't know, which was not part of the original plan we discussed. And then, when Cassio pointed me out to him, he just came over, called me a murderous villain, and stabbed me again. All so that he could keep up his appearance and trickery until the very end. I honestly don't think he ever had any interest in winning Desdemona for me at all. Now, it all makes sense. The jewels, the endless ploys to take out Cassio, that put me at risk. It's all coming together now. I just wish I had seen through his act a little earlier.